So, mozzarella. Today just wasn't my day for mozzarella. So, in a little bit, you'll hear my school TED talk about how I think I screwed this up at school. Then I came home and I decided I was going to try it again here at the house. So, everything was going great. It was like textbook mozzarella making. And then, like, my curds didn't set all the way. And I thought it was fine, and then when I started scooping them, they all just broke apart into basically like cheese soup. And so I'm gonna include the pictures of what went well in addition to this total failure. I'm still gonna post everything that happened at school just so you can kind of see how to go through it. I've done this before and it worked. Just today was not my day for cheese making. Let's just get real with it. So I just like to give shout out to everybody who's been watching my vids, all my subscribers. And I'd like to give a shout out to Joseph, one of my youngest fans. Hope you enjoy my monster fail. This, I guess, will be the only cheese I'm eating today. I went to Lidl, bought the spring water, bought another gallon of milk in the middle of this COVID crisis. So, just hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Look, we're going to have another little office TED Talk. So, basically, this mozzarella was kind of a fail. I'm not even going to lie about it. So, I had just kind of looked up a recipe on the real quick, and I had not looked at the real recipe that I've used before and that I had given to you guys. So, just kind of did on the quick. This recipe just said water, okay? Apparently, I was supposed to use non-chlorinated water, which would mean it would have to be like a filtered spring, or like a spring water, a filtered water, not just straight out of the tap. Also, upon just using my brain, I was supposed to put a quarter of a rennet tablet if I was using a gallon of milk. I forgot to divide that in half. So that caused my milk to super curdle, which basically kind of turned it into ricotta from the get. I tried to play it off that it wasn't working right, but it was a complete fail. It still kind of made a cheese, so you can watch, enjoy yourself. But I just want to, for the record, I came out here today flexing my chef's hat, flexing these new earrings from Amazon, real clothes today and not athletic wear, and this just kind of all fell apart. But, it's just a classic day in 305. So, watch, enjoy, it'll be alright. We'll live, we'll survive. Toots. It's me, Mario, and today we are going to be making mozzarella. The ingredients for mozzarella cheese are pretty simple. You're going to need whole milk. The recipe that I have calls for a gallon, but I'm going to use a half gallon. It's important that you're using whole cow's milk and that you are not using something like soy milk or almond milk, something like that. And that you read on the label to see that it is just pasteurized and not ultra pasteurized. You're also going to need a little bit of cool tap water, some kosher salt. Some recipes might call for cheese salt. This will work just fine. The two kind of oddball ingredients are citric acid and rennet tablets. So these just kind of look like they're like pills or tablets. These are two things that you can order online. I'm going to put a link in the description to the places where I've ordered these from before, so that if you wanted to do this at home, you could order those supplies there. They might also be found in some specialty like health food stores or grocery stores like Whole Foods would have something like this. Equipment-wise for making cheese, you're going to need a few common household items. Most of your action is going to take place in a pot. You're also going to need a chef's knife to cut your curds up later on after they start to form. For your measuring tools, you're going to need some type of thermometer that will at least read to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, liquid measuring cups, measuring spoons, a regular flatware spoon, a small bowl that you'll need to use the spoon and the bowl to crush up your tablet, a rubber spatula, and then a colander and a mixing bowl to collect the curd after you are finished with separating your milk into curds. So to get started, we're going to prepare our rennet tablet that I have in this bowl, as well as our citric acid. So both of these things are going to be dissolved in water first, and then they're going to be added into our pot to go with our milk later on. So the rennet tablet, we're going to need about 1/4 of a tablet. So I have already cut that down. I put it in a bowl to kind of make my own mortar and pestle. So you'll use the back side of a spoon. You can just put your finger down in the bowl of the spoon like I am. And you're just going to crush that tablet up so it can dissolve a little bit quicker and easier in your water. So the rennet tablet is going to go in, for this recipe, since I'm dividing it in half, is going to go in about 1/8 of a cup of water, which is approximately 2 tablespoons. So I'm just going to scoop that out and stir that up so that it dissolves. The next thing that I'm going to mix together will be my citric acid. So I'm going to need 3/4 of a teaspoon for this. So I have my 1/2 of a teaspoon here, and then 1/4 of a teaspoon there, and then I'm just going to use my teaspoon to stir that to dissolve. So my rennet mixture I'm going to put to the side, and then for this mixture it's going to go directly into my pot now. So I'm going to pour my citric acid mixture into my pot first, and I'm just going to use, I have a little bit I see of the citric acid that's at the bottom. I'm just going to use one of my measuring spoons to scoop that out. And then I'm going to be pouring in my milk right on top of that. So the citric acid is going to help our milk to separate along with the rennet later on. And it's also going to give it a little bit of flavor as well. That's characteristic of mozzarella. So I'm going to heat this slowly to approximately 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to heat this over medium-high heat. And I'm going to give that a little bit of time for it to reach the correct temperature. So I can start to see that the citric acid is helping this to curdle a little bit. You can see kind of the chunks starting to form. So I don't really want to mix it around too much until I am ready to put my rennet in. So besides adding some of the flavor and helping the milk to curdle, citric acid is also going to help our cheese to get stretchy at the end, which is another characteristic of mozzarella. So right now our temperature is around 60, so I still have 30 degrees to go as far as to heat this up to 90 degrees. So we'll allow that to continue to sit a little bit longer. Alright, so we have hit 90 degrees, so I'm going to add in the rennet. Pretty much as soon as I start pouring in the rennet, I'm going to start counting or looking at my clock to see, to get about 30 seconds of spinning. And so once I start to see that separation of that curd, I'm going to put a lid on my pot and I'm going to take it off of the heat for about 90 minutes. Alexa, start a timer. 5 minutes. See right there, I said 90 minutes when it was supposed to be set for 5. At least I did set the timer for 5 minutes. Alright, so at this point I'm going to use my knife to kind of cut through the curds that have started to form. And then I'm going to heat these curds back up to about 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so at this point my mixture is about the temperature that I need it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer that to a colander that's in a bowl just to get rid of some of the whey. So I'm just going to kind of drain that out. I could also use a slotted spoon for that. But I'm just going to scoop this out, drain as much of the whey back as I can. I'm going to keep the whey on the stovetop, keep that stovetop on, that burner on, because I'm going to need some of this whey in my next step. Alright, so I'm going to leave my whey on the stovetop, and in my colander I basically have what's going to be my mozzarella. So it's going to be a little hot, and I'm going to want to kind of roll this around to get out any additional whey. I want to leave a little bit of whey present so that it keeps a little bit of that soft moisture. And so when it's cool enough that I can grab it in my hands like this, then I'm going to start to squeeze out some of that excess moisture. Alright, so the remaining whey I want to get to a temperature of about 180. I'm going to pour it over the mozzarella that I have here. That's just going to help me hopefully to be able to stretch it a little bit. When I initially cut it, it was a little chunkier than it's supposed to be. It really should have a more smooth appearance on top. I think I stirred a little too much when I was pouring my rennet in. But anyway you slice it, if this doesn't work out to be exactly perfect mozzarella, it could still be used as ricotta. So I have this at about 180, so I'm just going to pour this over my mozzarella bowl. So as this is cooking, it's releasing more of the protein that's in this mixture, so it will have some more curds that have started to coagulate. So I just want to try to get as much of the liquid as possible and not as many of the curds. So I want to pour this over my ball of mozzarella until it covers it. And I'm just going to leave this on here for about 15 or 20 seconds once I get it covered. And so basically this will kind of help to make this a little bit more stretchy. Oh, Lauren, I'm spilling this everywhere. Make it a little bit more stretchy. Hopefully I can work with it to get it into or back into a ball shape. Alright, so I'm going to drain this back off of my mozzarella, and then I'm going to dump my mozzarella ball into a bowl. I'm going to need to allow that to cool for a little bit so that it can get to the point where I can touch it with my hands very easily. So while I'm waiting on that to cool, again, this mixture here, I could continue to allow that to simmer, and it's going to separate into more curds. And basically those curds that are in there are what's used to make ricotta cheese. So at the end of the day, if mozzarella doesn't work out, it can just be ricotta and it will be fine. So even if my little failed experiment here with halving this recipe when I might not should have doesn't exactly turn out into perfect mozzarella, then I could still use this for ricotta, for lasagna, something like that. Alright, so we kind of have a little bit of a mozzarella fail. I was looking up a couple different other recipes, and it said that I was not supposed to use chlorinated water, which is probably what went wrong here with using tap water. So I am just going to sprinkle this with a little bit of salt. I'll taste it and see if it tastes anything like mozzarella. It's not super stretchy. It's more kind of crumbly as compared to what it's supposed to be. It has this nice squishing sound. But I could bake this into something or use it on pizza or something like that. It's not going to slice up and be like a real cute caprese salad. But I'll just taste a little bit of it. And it tastes like mozzarella cheese. So, slight fail. It worked better when I used a whole gallon, and I probably used distilled water, which you can't really find right now. So, all in all, it's decent. A little bit of a fail on my part, but hey, kind of mozzarella.